just exploded, my friend. The Raiders have just made a move behind the scenes and the news is already generating buzz. There's a surprise signing on the radar, a reinforcement no one expected and who could completely change the face of the offense. He's one of those names who brings experience, consistency, and, most importantly, can provide the security the roster needs after the recent changes. I got the inside scoop on how this decision was made, and you'll understand why this player could be the perfect addition to Las Vegas. But before I reveal all the details, if you're a true Raider Nation fan, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell, because this bombshell signing just dropped and promises to change the future of the franchise. The Las Vegas Raiders started the season with high expectations and a new vision under Pete Carroll, who is gradually shaping the team into one of the most feared forces in the NFL. However, what seemed to be the Raiders' greatest asset is now at risk. Rising star Brock Bowers, the tight end who had been shining on the field, suffered an injury that generated great concern among fans and even within the locker room. During the last victory against the New England Patriots, Bowers was at his best. With 103 catches and 5 receptions, he was a key player in the Raiders' offense, constantly targeted by quarterback Geno Smith. But, as American football is often unpredictable, the sight of one of the key players leaving the field, supported by his teammates, after suffering a knee injury, quickly changed the narrative of the game. The news of Bowers' injury hit like a bucket of cold water. The tension was immediate. What seemed like a promising season could be altered. The situation was even more serious because the tight end had become one of the greatest offensive weapons of the season, essential to the team's success on offense. In the post-game interview, Pete Carroll was clear but cautious. "We're taking it day by day. The boys are working hard. They won't give up easily. Brock's recovery is crucial. These next 72 hours are crucial." Although the timeout secured a crucial 20-13 victory, the question of Bowers' recovery time and its impact on the team's performance for the rest of the season became the center of discussion. It's worth noting that Bowers, in his second season with the Raiders, has already established himself as one of the league's top prospects. His debut was a blast: 1,194 yards and 5 touchdowns in a season that captivated the NFL. Now, the question is whether he can find the rhythm to continue this spectacular performance. Raiders fans have their fingers crossed, hoping that Bowers' talent continues to shine and be instrumental in the team's winning streaks throughout the season. But as with any competitive season in the NFL, the work doesn't stop there. Even with concerns about Bowers, the team's focus remains on strengthening the offense and finding alternatives to fill the tight end's potential absence. The Raiders know that in a high-level league, one can't rely on just one key player. The search for reinforcements and adjustments to the offensive strategy is already underway, with the Raiders evaluating different options who could fill a similar role to Bowers if his recovery takes longer than expected. Now, everyone's eyes are on the medical updates. How will the weather respond without Bowers? A big question mark for the Las Vegas locker room, and the next game will be crucial in determining how the Raiders handle this adversity. Coach Pete Carroll, with his experience, certainly has a plan in mind, but nothing can replace the absence of such an important player, especially a rising talent like Bowers. So the Raiders' story doesn't end here. If Brock Bowers can get back into a strong rhythm, he could become a cornerstone of the Raiders' season. If not, the team will need to reinvent itself to continue fighting for a playoff spot. And if the concern about Bowers is already stirring among fans, another question is beginning to gain traction in the passing attack. Who can fill the void left by Amari Cooper? Following Amari Cooper's unexpected retirement and growing uncertainty about the performance of their wide receivers, the Las Vegas Raiders are searching for a veteran who can bring stability and experience to their wide receiver core. Amid this search, one name is gaining traction: Kendrick Bourne, a former New England Patriots player who could be exactly what the Raiders need to revive their passing attack. With a solid 8-season NFL career, Bourne is a wide receiver who has consistently posted consistent numbers, surpassing the 400-yard mark in all but 3 seasons. In 2024, despite a modest number of receptions, 28 for 306 yards, Bourne stood out for his ability to maintain possession and his consistency, valuable attributes for any team needing a reliable receiver in crucial moments. Despite a more subdued season, his experience was enough to attract attention on several occasions, with the 49ers and Commanders expressing interest in signing him, but it's with the Raiders that he's found his new home. Bourne's fit with the Raiders seems almost perfect. The team, which boasts 2 rookies in its wide receiver core, needs an experienced player who can help guide the young talent and provide the necessary stability over time. While the rookies have shown potential, their lack of big game experience could be a vulnerability, and Bourne's arrival could be exactly what the team needs to remain competitive throughout the season. Kendrick Bourne's characteristics are also a strength. The wide receiver has excelled at both the slot and the Z, making him a useful option for a team like the Raiders, which has benefited from the flexibility of its wide receivers. His ability to adapt to different roles in the offense increases his chances of making an immediate impact on the team, offering new possibilities for the offensive coordinator to explore. Furthermore, the biggest draw for Bourne in Las Vegas isn't just financial compensation, but also the opportunity to become a key player in the Raiders' passing game. As they seek to rebuild and have strong playoff ambitions, the chance for Bourne to be one of the top targets for a quarterback like Geno Smith could be an added motivation for him to join the Raiders. If he adapts quickly to his new team, Bourne could become one of the team's key weapons, creating a vital connection with Smith and contributing significantly to their overall success. However, the big question is whether the Raiders would actually opt for a veteran like Bourne or continue to rely on their young talent. Pete Carroll's philosophy, known for betting on experienced and renowned players, as was the case with Amari Cooper in the past, could be an indication that Bourne is exactly the type of player the team needs right now. With the arrival of a reliable veteran like Bourne, the Raiders gained not only stability, but also a leader in the locker room and on the field, who could guide the younger players and contribute to the evolution of the offense. As the Las Vegas team works to strengthen its roster, its eyes now turn to the big rivalry ahead. Week 2 against the Los Angeles Chargers, a major test for the Raiders, who will have to prove they are a force to be reckoned with in the AFC West. If Kendrick Bourne decides to join the team, he could become a key player in the Raiders' success this season. Now, it remains to be seen whether the veteran wide receiver will be the key to the Raiders strengthening their passing attack and achieving their long-awaited return to the playoffs. One thing is certain, the Raiders' future depends largely on a strategic decision that could change the course of their season. But while management analyzes the wide receiver market, the immediate reality is knocking at the door. A decisive duel against their biggest division rival is already on the horizon. If you missed that the Raiders' season was already full of twists and turns, the game against the Los Angeles Chargers could be their biggest challenge yet. Rivalries abound, and this matchup promises to be one of the most thrilling of the season. In Week 2, the Las Vegas Raiders prepare to face the Chargers on Monday Night Football, a game that promises to be a thrill at Allegiant Stadium. This isn't just any game. It's their home opener and the first AFC West matchup of the season. The Raiders didn't win a single game in the division last year, and the need to break that streak is clear. For any team aspiring to win the division, victories against their rivals are crucial. The pressure is immense, but Pete Carroll knows how to handle big moments, and by all indications, preparation for this game will be intensified. They've had an extra day to prepare, which could be crucial, especially after a long flight from the East Coast to the West Coast. The big concern will be how the Raiders defense handles Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert, who appears to be in great shape after leading his team to a win against the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 1. But if there's one player who can change the game, it's Max Crosby. The Raiders defender is known for his impact in divisional games, and he'll be eager to bring his pace and, perhaps, shut down Herbert to establish dominance. This will be a crucial debate for the Raiders, a true litmus test for Pete Carroll's team. In short, the matchup against the Chargers could set the tone for the rest of the season. If the Raiders want to make the playoffs and perhaps clinch the division, they need to show their strength in this decisive game. The clock is ticking, and the tension is only increasing. With Brock Bowers' injury, the potential arrival of Kendrick Bourne to bolster the offense, and the big challenge against the Chargers in Week 2, what do you think will be the most decisive factor for the Raiders this season? Bowers' recovery, Bourne's strengthening of the roster, or Max Crosby's crucial performance against the Chargers? Leave your opinion here, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back later to update you with the latest Raiders news.